This episode is crazy. So last episode I read the account of Hosea to you, and then you would have noticed God's great love for Israel. I want to point out, if you believe you are one of God's people, even though you're not Jewish, God will extend the same love to you and he won't hold back. You'll notice I gave Hosea's wife, Gomer, a strange voice. It kind of sounded like Marge Simpson or Gonzo from the Muppet Show. Well, before I was trying to start that project, I was trying to give Gomer a woman's voice, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. So as I played around, I came up with this voice, just playing around. And then I just thought, it'll stick. The way I like to teach is with some humor, because if you're having fun while you're learning, then you're more engaged and you're going to remember. If I was a school teacher, that's the kind of teacher I'd be. That's how I am with my kids, and I just simply can't help it. It's my character. So a lady recently contacted me and told me that she saw me on my channel and she said I talk like I know everything. I'm sorry if anyone feels uncomfortable with anything I've said, but even from the beginning I've said, I'm not making anything up. This is all just from scripture. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure it all out like you. And all these scriptures, if it's new to you, that's strange to me, because these are ancient texts. I mean, it's ancient. Why is it, when I say it, it sounds like it's something new? And I also said that I'm like Rebound. You know what Rebound is? The game, right? This is Rebound.
What a shot. The Watsons have just about clinched the $1 million Rebound Championship. Bob, give us the highlights up to this point.
Well, Jim, the Kleppels took an early lead in this two-cushion rebound game, but after the fourth shot were a solid 60 points ahead. Then Dick Watson came through with a beauty to even the score. In the sixth, with tension mounting, Jerry Kleppel flubbed a big one, leaving it wide open for the spectacular shot that just about wrapped up the game for the Watsons.
Thank you, Bob.
Rebound, a competitive game for 2 or 4 players from Ideals.
The information I give to you for my videos is older than anyone alive. So my sister-in-law once told me that my kids shouldn't watch Harry Potter. I thought that was crazy. She said Harry Potter was full of witchcraft. I thought this was a little extreme at the time. It sounded crazy, because Harry Potter was just a childish, playful story of witchery. It was a make-believe adventure with children in an imaginary world. Well, that's any fictional story, isn't it? Even Jesus told fictional stories. I couldn't see anything cautionary about it, you know, by my opinion. I did meet an ex-witch at my church. She left that old life and practice behind for a new life of Christianity when she became born again. But she had no problems talking to people about what it was like to be a witch. She said she enjoyed doing parlor tricks for her friends, but it kind of escalated from there. She explained how her witch's hat being in a cone shape was somehow a source of power. She mentioned how witches pray to the moon, the stars, nature, and the universe. The witches believe whatever you send out into the universe will come back to you, but in greater measure. So for example, if you send out love, you'll get love back in return. Sounded really good. But Jesus warned us against witchcraft, and we shouldn't do these practices. All we need to do is pray to God, not to angels, not to anything spiritual or anything else, just God alone. So witches say that there are no bad witches, but, well, we all pretty sure there are. Nasty, vengeful ones too. It's like every prisoner at a prison will say, well, I'm innocent. I'm not guilty of anything. We're all innocent in here. In the same way witches say, we're not evil, just crazy. In the world of witches, they have brooms, sorcery, books of spells, magic wands, tarot cards, and they read bones. Oh, and crystals. Oh, strange spices or mushrooms, cut roots. I don't know what it all is. They can allegedly use a person's hair or fingernail to cast a hex on that person. Some kind of voodoo control to bring about a controlled sense of torment. They can make people fall in love with other people or whatever. This is a form of manipulation. We're supposed to have free will. That's God's gift to us. This is all wrong, guys. So as a former pastor that I knew once said, a Satanist came in and gave his heart to the Lord at his church. While he was in the Christian church and observing things and seeing how a regular Sunday service was conducted, he said, this shouldn't be so hard to conform to. The Satanic church does everything the same way. Well, it shouldn't be any surprise that Satan is always mimicking God and Jesus and the ways of the Christians, but they always twist it in some malpractice form. That's crazy! You see, Christians, we have the Christ. We have the Son of God. But the Satanists, they have the Antichrist. And he is the son of Satan. So when Jesus was crucified and he died, that was at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but it's popularly known that the witching hour is at 3 a.m. in the morning. So on one hand, you have the Holy Church, and on the other hand, with the Satanists, it's the unholy church. And we're proud to say that it is. And sadly, perversions of God's ways are all around us in our life. Going back to my first advice that I was given, that my kids shouldn't watch Harry Potter, well, recently I read an article that the kids who are fans of Harry Potter, when they grew up, they still yearn for that kind of
Oculus repair room.
Oh, big.
That's better, isn't it? Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter.
Nah,
I'm Hermione
she knows.
Granger.
She knows him.
And you are? Ron Weasley.
And
Pleasure.
you are.
You two.
innocent magic and thrill in their lives. So lo and behold, they go to bookstores and they start to find things that are available, like spellcasting books, history on witches. These young kids, as they got older, began to realize there was something to this witchcraft. It's actually real, and it wasn't even hard to obtain. All you had to do was go to either a magic store or a toy store or a bookstore, and you could find something along the nature. It's everywhere. So in their minds, they're thinking, wow, now I can live an adventurous lifestyle using this witchcraft. So their path begins by trying to make contact with the dead or dark forces. Usually they try to start off by contacting something that is of a light form, like calling upon spirit guides. Or else they're not just trying to practice witchcraft, they want to be light witches or good witches. But I'm just telling you right now, if it's not from God, it's not good. God has no ties with witches and witchcraft. So that is not the way. That's only the way that will lead you astray. All you need is the Bible. Just trust in it like you would trust in a parent's guiding hand, and let it be your guide in spirituality. Let it be your only source of spiritual guidance. So I just want to tell you this story. A group of kids got some Ouija board and they were playing with it in their home late at night, no parents around, sleepover. It started off innocent enough, but when the thing started moving around and saying things that none of these kids would ever say, one of the members lost his mind. As he was foaming at the mouth, the lights in the room were flickering. All the other kids all of a sudden realized they were dealing with forces beyond their understanding. So around them, the TV went on the fritz and the radio came on and off with lots of static. There was so much cutting in and out. It was crazy. So I mean, does it really make any sense to be messing around and dibble-dabbling with things? We all think it's all just nonsense and it's not going to really be anything. People making a big deal out of nothing. I had my own experience with a Ouija board. I ended up, after playing it two times, I just broke it into pieces, and I was actually looking to see if there was some magnets or some wiring, something inside this board that was making this thing move. And there was nothing. It was just wood, and it burnt just like a piece of wood. It didn't hiss and make all these noises like you've maybe heard some other people say if they burn their Ouija boards. But yeah, the little, called a planchette, it just melted, plastic, you know. It was just regular stuff. So it was a Ouija board actually that kickstarted me into being a Christian. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was my first experience with something supernatural. Still, to me at the time, it was completely crazy. In the book of Acts, the Apostle Paul finds a fortune teller, and this is a story where people should take note of psychics. They are not Christians, and they do not follow in God's ways. They are in league with the darkness, and this is where it explains this. On our way back to Riverbank, a young fortune teller followed us, shouting, "Look, these men serve God Most High. They proclaim the way of salvation." The possessed girl was not the sort of endorsement we were looking for. After days of this, Paul suddenly gave a surprising command. "I order you, in the name of Jesus Christ, to come out of her." The girl was controlled by a demon. God used Paul to rescue her. But what should have been a happy ending was just the beginning of more trouble. The slave girl was happy now, but her owners were not. The demon took her fortune-telling skills away with him, so she was no longer a psychic. "These Jews are troublemakers. They preach against our laws and customs." They're only saying that because they can't get any more money. This girl, this slave girl who had psychic abilities, was their cash cow. "After the beating, throw them into the prison." It nearly killed me to watch this, but I was powerless. So even though Paul did a good thing by freeing this woman of her demon, they threw him into prison anyway. It was very sad.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
He's back.
Don't look at him, honey. Eat your potatoes.
Steve, do something.
Brenda, we've been over this. Let's just pick up our plates and go eat in the hollow castle.
People think I'm crazy because I'm a Christian, but I'll prove that they're crazy. You don't want to paint yourself in the corner spiritually. Typically, a magic shop will have simple party tricks up front. But in the back, they've got heavier magic that's still trickery, but goes by a magic code, and they're not allowed to tell their secrets. But then there's a deeper and darker magic, where it's not so much just trickery of sleight of hand, it's now trickery with spiritual assistance. Unfortunately, people are getting really good at this sort of thing, and it's harder and harder to tell what is a magic trick and what is just like some kind of CGI on TV, especially if it's just captured on video. Yes, you can upload almost anything nowadays and no one's going to believe it. You see, the Antichrist wants to mimic the same kind of miracles that Jesus was able to perform. Now we have such dark forces rearing up in our music and movies. It's everywhere. And not even Christians can tell what's good and bad anymore. It's just so deceiving. So those who are behind making this kind of art, they're people who have been promised fame and fortune from a darker realm. Even the way that business is done now in the entertainment world, it's sign your name on the dotted line. I mean, I don't see any difference between that and the devil saying, sign my contract, sign your soul away to me. So be careful. It's not worth it to sign your soul away. It's just crazy! I mean, what does Jesus say about it? Well, we read in Matthew 16, verse 26. Jesus says, what will it benefit a person to gain the whole world, but to lose your very soul? You see, that's what's really on the line. That is the bottom line. Don't sign away your rights to eternal glory with God. To do this would be crazy! Crazy! So take care, everyone. Catch you on the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. May God richly bless you. Bye for now.